elevation is before us.
I feel like the way to control the past as well as the future is to be in the present moment, because that is the bond between the two. So if you want to, control what's going on and how it happens, control yourself. You feel what I'm saying? You can't control everything that happens in life, but as long as you check yourself, make sure you in perspective. You know what I mean? Stay in the present moment, because sometimes we get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
And then sometimes we too far behind ourselves. We thinking about the past to where we not in the future. Well, we not in the present rather, because the future is always happening. The future is always the present moment.
And
it's always happening.
And that is true. Always.
So a lot of people not even aware or able to center themselves in the present moment. We be so caught up in thoughts. And now I will say that you must, I would also say that you need to do things that your future self will appreciate you for.
That's a fact.
That's like setting yourself up.
That's a fact.
That's the whole thing about creating that future. Kind of controlling the outcome of things. You feel what I'm saying? Doing what you need to do in the moment. Just listen to different speakers and stuff of that nature. You know what I mean? People say they give their 110%, their full self in their training or whatever. They fully engulf themselves. So when it's time to perform, they're not going in with any doubt because they knew they did everything possible to prepare for the moment. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna go out here, perform, I'm gonna do my best. And whatever comes from it, I know I did my best to prepare.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying by doing something that your future self would appreciate you for.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of times we don't fully engulf ourselves in things. We don't fully really prepare fully for a moment. And if you don't prepare, if you fail to prepare, you're preparing to fail.
That's a fact. And I also feel like you can become obsessed with the outcome, especially if it's. I think a lot of times, as you know, us being humans, we become obsessed with things that we cannot have or we cannot control, and they're kind of become an obsession. Where would you agree with me on that? Where there can be an obsession with things that you cannot control. I guess that would be.
Give me an example.
I guess it would be more so related in the dating world. So if you're obsessed with the outcome that you can't get, I think you'll start doing things that's out of sequence because you're trying to make up for that lack of what you're not doing in the present moment.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm making sense with that. if you get my drift on that.
I'm saying, people, they definitely want, a lot of people want what they can't have.
Yeah.
And that makes things, that gives people a certain thrill.
Yeah, it's an obsession.
In a certain sense. But I won't, at the same time, it's okay to be obsessed with what you're doing. It's okay because that's how you fully engulf yourself. I know, people where I work, they are obsessed, with the job. And, there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? I feel like.
I think you can be obsessed with work, though.
Yeah, ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? That if you're doing something, if you dedicating your time and your effort and your life to something, you better be loving it. You better be obsessed with it. You better be there for a reason. Yeah. Especially the line of work I'm in, you know what I mean? It's not about you anymore. It's about serving the people. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's a career of service. Facts. So if your heart is not in it, you need to move on because it's people's lives in your hand that you have to remove yourself sometimes. You have to remove you got to go help people that you don't even know.
And the thing is, we had a conversation about this before, and we cut on the cameras. And the industries that we're in, education, the EMT side, and being a police officer, things of that nature. When you don't want to be there, it's going to be obvious because those are things that if you don't love what you do, it's going to show. It's not like one of those jobs where you can just go put on a fake smile because eventually your jaw gonna start hurting. Your cheekbones gonna start hurting. So
Yeah.
I definitely feel like you are correct. Like with certain jobs and things of that nature, you have to kind of love what you do, because if not, it's going to show. And you know what? You're going to be miserable. And when you start to become miserable, that's the day you need to change what you need to do or change what you're doing, because it's no coming back from that. You won't find no more love for that. You're out of love at that point.
I'm saying you can find that love again, I feel like, because I feel like I've been in a career before that I kind of lost interest in, but then I regained it. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's even like in a relationship. Mm-hmm. Like you can kind of lose that passion, but you can do something to rekindle it. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's why people, you know what I mean, try to do the spontaneous thing and do different little things to keep the flame or fire.
I think you're talking, but
it's the same thing, whether it's a job or it's a relationship.
Okay.
You feel what I'm saying? Like you got to do things that keep you interested.
That is true. You do got to switch things up, I would say.
Yeah, you got to, because it's a continued progression of growth and development.
Okay.
That is what life is about. Growth and development.
All right. So when we go back and look at trying to control the outcome, I think we will both agree that staying in the present moment. How do you so to me, I feel like mastering the present moment, you have to kind of do things like meditate. I don't meditate, but I do things like workout. I work out when I'm working out, or like say for instance, I'm in the shower or whatever. I learned how to block out all of my thoughts and kind of just focus on nothing but with what I'm doing. So if I'm taking a shower, I'm just enjoying my shower. Or if I'm working out, I'm focusing in on the workout instead of letting my mind just wander on things. And I think those things help me stay in the present moment. And so because the thing is, when you're in the present moment, you can master that moment. And really, to me, how I feel is when you master that moment, you control the outcome.
All right.
You get what you want.
Something you just spoke on, it reminded me of a book.
Okay.
Napoleon Hill.
Oh, that's the GOAT.
Outwitting the Devil.
Oh, that's the GOAT.
You just spoke on basically in this book they was talking about hypnotic rhythm. How we kind of just get caught up in we kind of get hypnotized within our thoughts and music and just things of life that's happening, but we got to come back. And when you in that hypnotic rhythm, that's when the devil can slip in and get you drifted off. Yeah. You know what I mean? They talk about drifters and yeah, right. And not being centered, not being in the present. So you so engulfed in your thoughts. And that's what I was just talking about earlier, when the glue between the past and the future is the present moment. So when you're able to center yourself, have that self-discipline to bring yourself to that centered moment, that present moment, the things that's going on right now. Yeah. You feel what I'm saying? That's when you are really truly living.